Yo fam, happy Tuesday guys. So lots to speak around today, specifically around stock markets starting to recover. S&P looking to break new highs. Now again, I'm looking at a possible gold bounce coming this month. I'm looking at a oil drop, a DXY drop, as well as a silver move to the upside, which gets me to crypto. I want to speak around the roadmap of August, right? What I'm seeing play out, and then I want to speak around Q3, Q4 of the rest of the year. I do see time running out for bears to put in a new low, and if they do not succeed, it's very likely we're going to make our way up at any point to $90,000 to $100,000 in the crypto market. Not many are left. The best entries are in the markets right now, so I want us to prepare short time frame, mid time frame, as well as high time frame. You do not want to miss today's show, as it is going to give you clarity on signs and indications you can use of where the market's going for the rest of the year, as well as where are the opportunities lying in the market. So do me a favor, smash up the like, subscribe. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like 𝗦𝗏𝗘𝗥𝗍𝗄. Welcome to Sheldon's show.
Fam, how are we doing? Hope you're all doing fantastic. Guys, quick reboot. Where we at right now? So we're in the final difficult times, you know, in the cycle, the depression phase. Where not much kind of happens, right? It's no doubt about a boringness. Now, just remember, from boringness goes disbelief into hope, into excitements. These things do come. These are the next phases in. So if you come this far, it's very important to push through. However, at the same point, it's important to kind of just mentally see where your strategy is at. For me, the strategy is quite simple. I've been trading some short-term, a little bit of gold, a little bit of stuff outside of crypto, because crypto is being a little bit boring. But at the same point, I'm accumulating as much crypto blue chips as possible. Right, I think we get into that point where time is going to run out at any point. One green candle is going to come out of nowhere. Volume is decreasing. Everything is dropping, which means a squeeze at any point is on the horizon, right? So I'm accumulating long-term. So I really think building long-term plays, spot plays, is definitely very important, and kind of placing your bets for the next cycle. And then at the same point, what I'm also doing is like trying to get some volume in the markets or size in the market without having to deploy too much capital, right? Capital ain't as great as what it was over the last couple of years, right? So again, a big thing that I'm doing is funded, right? So I'm busy trading funded accounts right now. I did pass a funded. I am live right now. So I've taken a few bets on Solana. I'm going to speak about a few other trades I'm going to be taking. But remember, guys, big opportunities here when it comes to using tools around you, right? So today you do get a buy one, get one free in Bitfunded. I just want to show you guys here that I've actually managed to pass a few of these challenges throughout this year. It's very much there to do, but right now you're paying $39, right, for 2 accounts, right? It's insane, right? So it's a huge special right now. You pass the level, you get to trade with $5,000, right? One step express, guys, incredible. So this for me is one of the biggest opportunities in the market right now to accumulate, build packages, pass packages, trade with real funded cash, right, and have a lot more cash than what you got. So if I'm paying $39 and I get traded $5,000, then I can 5x leverage to $25,000 position size. You know, I'm using tools around me to get into the markets without using a lot of my capital. That's literally where we're at. What can we do to survive, and how can we have size in the market? That's where I'm at right now. Not too much focused on short-term trading crypto right now. I'm looking for the bigger moves to the upside. So let's speak around where we're at right now and the plays that I'm seeing for August. So again, the first thing that I quickly want to show you guys is the monthly closes. I did close bullish for Bitcoin, right? I closed bullish for Bitcoin, and I closed very bullish for altcoins, right? How do I know? You could see over here the candles, green, the bulls won for the month, and then a big wick to the upside. Very likely we're going to go fill that wick within this month. And then obviously we're sitting at resistance here. Above that resistance is a short squeeze back to the highs, right? So again, the bears kind of have the opportunity now to drop the market, right? The opportunity of the 40,000s, 30,000s of Bitcoin, like this is the month for them to do it. If not, it's very likely we're going to start moving to the upside and start resetting and starting the new cycle to the upside, right? So again, it's very likely we're going to start off this month. I spoke around a few days possibly red and then turning green, and you can see we are starting to turn green now. Bitcoin sitting at $63,000. But then I want to go through a couple of things that are quite important. So again, monthly, very likely we're going to move our way up, but let's go through the roadmap. So this is where we're currently sitting. We have the 200-day moving average sitting at $71,000, right? So that's basically bull market resistance, right? That is, we are in a bear market for as long as we're below that level. Right? Once we start closing above that level, we start to turn very much into bull market type of territory, right? You could see it before. The moment we have gone through bear, started to push above, you could see every time we do get above, close above, we start to have rallies, right? So this time over here, we went from 20,000 to 32,000. Then we broke below. Once we broke above again, went from 28,000 all the way up to 71,000, right? Every time we've closed above has been a really good start to the cycle. So that is resistance right now. Secondly, we do have the trend line. The trend line is also resistance, as well as giving us a little bit of time on when breakouts are looking to come, right? So still, again, if bears do not buy the areas of September, right, mid-September, early September, end of September, September's the big month, right? If they don't really push down and start making our way towards 40,000, it's very likely we're going to start approaching the $90,000 to $100,000 zone. And very likely we could still see that possibility happen throughout this year, which means that right now the bears still have an opportunity to drop the markets, right? But let's go through the major plays of what we're seeing right now. So now I'm zooming in specifically within August. This is the play for me that I've been seeing, right? Is from here, we are seeing a start of the week red, okay, actually into green momentum to the upside, right? Now, there's a couple of catalysts that were very important that we're sitting here. We are coming into mid-range support, right? So since the bounce we've had, the good sign was this was an engulfing candle bigger than the red candle. So that's a good reversal type of sign that we could see. But secondly, the catalyst here was the stock market, right? Were we going to drop down on the stock market? We were at a very important support that we started to slowly lose. Okay, and there was a good sign that we could have seen something like this come into play, which is up to a 10% drop within the stock markets, right? FOMC came out, not much change, right? Markets reacted pretty good to it, and now we're actually seeing a strong week and a possible break off the highs. So if we look at the August when it comes to S&P, right, as it stands right now, we need to see a close or break above this high, but we could actually be seeing up to a 10 to 50% move to the upside in S&P, possibly this month. Right, and that then changes games to say, hey, this was a big catalyst that could have helped Bitcoin go lower. Okay, but if this starts turning bullish, we're running out of bearish reasons to be bearish right now. Right, think of all reasons of why to be bearish right now. This was one of them, starting to slowly move. Right, when it comes to the dollar index, this is very important. The strength of the dollar. Look at that red candle from last week. That's a big rejection. Right, and not only that, right, we're on the verge of losing the support of this wedge. So right now we are at support. Again, this is the opportunity for bears to step in quick. But if they do not, again, we lose this, dollar's dropping. And it's going to drop at a fast rate. Very bullish for markets, right? Which gets us to the next point, which is oil, right? Oil is sitting in this area where it had a bounce. Bounced up, rejected hard, rejected at the support trend line that we lost, at the momentum trend line at the top. Right, at the 618, which is the mid-range of the bounce that it had, bearish level. We're bullish above here. We are still bearish below there. Rejected. And now what it's sitting at, okay, is we're sitting in this short-term wedge, and we lose here. Oil's coming down. Right, so again, we're at this important point where this market don't turn bearish soon. It's about to turn extremely bullish. It's about to come out of nowhere and catch many off guard, which gets me to the next point. At any point, I do see a gold rally up. Right, here's the wedge. Now's the time to get bearish, and the market's going to get bearish. If they do not, there's very likely a 10, 15% move incoming on gold. Right, if we look at things like silver, very likely that if they don't get bearish now, which is this long-term trend, we are going to turn bullish very quickly. Right, markets are sitting at that point. I saw a couple of important ones to pay attention. NVIDIA is starting to gain strength. NVIDIA is on the verge of a possible breakout. Right, I was looking at which one was it over here? Amazon had an incredible opening of the week. That's breaking out, right? So guys, Microsoft's starting to show strength. Tesla's starting to show strength, right? We are at the point now where the markets are now, there were signs of bearishness, but things can wake up very quickly. So this is a good sign for crypto, right? And remember, crypto just doesn't have much interest right now, but one big candle and things start to shift off very quickly. So this is where I'm sitting when it comes to crypto right now, as well as the catalyst, right? For me, there is still these supports, right? The support's sitting here in this mid 61,000s. We did now drop to 62,000, which is the mid-range. It's 50% of the previous pump, right? If we do not break this level to the downside at any point now, I'm seeing a push up within August up to the areas of 69,000 as first target. What I'm actually seeing is us break the trend this month. Right? If bullishness sets in, we got Clarity Act. Guys, we are anywhere in the next 3 days, a possible Clarity Act approval, right? If it's denied, guys, crypto hasn't had great news for months. Short rejection, and we continue, right? If it's approved, right, FOMO comes into the market. Okay, and that FOMO pushes us anywhere up to 70,000 to 73, 74,000. I actually see something like this possibly happening on a Clarity Act approval. Then I see something like this. Then I see a continuation in September. Right, so that is the plays when it comes into what I'm seeing happen for the month. Bearishness, they have to turn us bearish within the next 2 weeks. We have to start losing 60,000 for the bears to step in. Otherwise, full bull that I'm seeing. Now, a couple of things to pay attention to here that I want to show you guys. That's important, right, to notice here. So again, when it comes to the moving average, the 200-day, from the day that we lose it, right, many times in history, when we're going to bear market, to when we break it is around 350 days, right? We are sitting, right, at 310 days right now, 308 to 310 days. So in around 40 days, right, very likely we're at that point of 200-day moving average, right? Specifically if the bottoms are now majorly in play, okay? So we're in that time where it's like, yes, there's time, but there's a certain point where time's going to start running out. Now, again, just remember, from when we broke to when we were in accumulation, Bitcoin did go up 40% until it only broke. We are still at the bottom range here. There could see a 30-40% growth and then only start breaking the major indicators. That's why I believe we're extremely early. Now, the next thing to pay attention to as well is the RSI. The RSI puts in a sign, okay? And the sign is a higher low sign, okay? And if you look at this over here, these are the bottoms of the previous cycles, right? The areas of 2019 bottom out the markets going to 21 bull run, right? The areas of the 2022 gave us the runs into 2024. Right, now we're sitting over here with the exact same signs of the higher low when it comes to the RSI. Right, when it comes to the timing wise, right, of the RSI, of the lows until we start breaking, it's around 70 days. Right, and that is when we start ejecting and moving to the upside. Okay, if we are looking at where we are right now, we are sitting around 56 to 60 days. This indicating to us at any point a speed up can come in the next 2 weeks. Right, so the bears have the play right now, but this for me is the play. So again, what am I doing? I'm longing the higher lows right now with stops. I'm placing my bets. Right, I'm doing it on the funded accounts. I'm doing it on trading accounts. I'm obviously trading, mainly building long-term and spot accounts. I'm long in gold right now. I'm long in silver right now. I'm going for the long play. Right, strategically when it comes to stops, knowing where the markets turn extremely bearish. Other than that, I'm being extremely patient. Now, the next thing that I want to highlight to you guys as well is when it comes to the altcoins, there's going to be batches of altcoins that are going to move. I've spoken my thoughts around ETH being one of the leading indicators. ETH is actually sitting, if you look at where we are right now, we are only sitting 9% away from 200-day moving average. A lot more bullish than the rest of the altcoins and specifically Bitcoin right now. So there's a good chance that we actually see the dominance drop when this market starts to wake up. Okay, which will be interesting because the last cycle we never saw altcoin run. What happens if altcoins actually lead the next run? Things are different now, right? And again, categories of AI, I think AI might slow down a little bit. I think AI is still a good category. Decentralization, massive, right? Privacy tokens, these things I see being rockets, right, in the marketplace. And who knows, they might actually lead the next cycle to the upside. I'm playing off that bet. That's what I am preparing for. And that's what I'm loading up. And it's because of this chart over here, right? When it comes to total 3, I don't know if you noticed, but Bitcoin's sitting here to the trend line. Bitcoin is sitting like 2 weeks behind the altcoins. Altcoins actually anywhere in the next 2-3 weeks, right on the trend line of a breakout. So charts are indicating to me that altcoins might be slightly ahead. Therefore, I'm starting to place my bets, right? The Solana's actually on the other side of the trend line. ETH's on the other side of the trend line, right? Injective is on the verge of breaking the trend line, right? Uniswap on the verge of breaking out, retesting 200-day moving average. Very good sign. Weekly close above 200-day moving average. Right, so that's my plays, guys. I'm looking that anywhere in this week, there's an opportunity. If we go to 61,000, that's a big, long area for me. I've placed some bets in this area over here. And if the bears do not succeed to get us below 58,000 in this month, I'm seeing $90,000 over the next 3 months to the upside. That's what I'm preparing myself for, and that's what I'm moving towards. Now, guys, couple of things I want to speak around. Let's just bring it up here for a second. So again, Bitfunnel, there's links below in the description. Get your packages now, 50% off right now. It's cheap, guys. To have size in the market and not put a lot of your caps in the market, big opportunities that we're seeing over there. Then let's just get this up here for a sec. Okay, then remember, guys, 𝗬𝗡𝗃, I'm doing giveaways on Wednesday. If anyone that has a 𝗬𝗃 account, we've got sign-up bonuses for you guys. I'm doing a giveaway of $500 to anyone that has my 𝗬𝗃 account exchange link. right? You got an exchange link. I'm going to be putting money in your account on the day, real USDT. So here's sign-up bonuses, link below in the description. Sign up to WeX. Lots of love, guys. Have a fantastic day. See you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.